This is what we're seeing at the weekend. Valencia against Atleti. Las Palmas will take on Barcelona. They're Saturday's games. And on Sunday, it's Real Madrid against Girona. Alex, if I was to ask you who's most likely to drop points, who would you say?
Atleti, I think. And Valencia, of course, have been struggling all season, battling against relegation, but Valencia have started to turn things around under Carlos Corberán. I think they've won the last 3 games at home at Mestalla. Their recent record at Mestalla is very, very good. And they've started looking like, with that Mestalla factor, they can save themselves. It's not an easy place to go. And I think Atletico Madrid going there, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Atleti dropped points there. I think a game like Real Madrid at home against Girona, I'd have Madrid as heavy favourites. We know Girona aren't the same team that they were last season. Real Madrid playing very, very well. I'd back them to win at the Bernabeu, and Barca up against Las Palmas as well. But Atletico, keep an eye on that one at Mestalla for sure.
Craig will be on every single game this weekend.
No, I'm not in the Real Madrid game. I'm on these two. I'm on these two at the weekend. But to go back to Alex's point, if Atleti are going to stay and keep making it a 3-horse race, they've already, after the winter break, dropped points against Leganés. I mean, I know they've dropped points. They dropped points in the Madrid derby. I'm trying to think of the other games. But that Leganés game they're also a team who are down the bottom struggling. That was a body blow. So there's only so many of them you can take. Now, obviously, Valencia, big club, great atmosphere at Mestalla, been struggling. Carlos Corberán comes in from West Brom, bit of a strange appointment at the time, but he comes in, they start, and they've played well. I've seen them play against the bigger teams, and they've sort of upped their game. They played well against Barcelona. I think it was match day 1. They lost in the end, but they didn't play badly. They're a bit lightweight up front. They tend to raise their game for these big teams coming to town. But I think Atleti can ill afford to keep dropping points against teams that are down near the relegation. You're not going to win a league doing that.
Yeah, some good games to look forward to this weekend. Alex, thanks so much for being with us. We'll speak to you again soon, my friend. This is the La Liga schedule coming up this weekend, and those games, as mentioned, Valencia against Atleti, Las Palmas against Barcelona. Double header there for you on Saturday, and then on Sunday, bright and early, Real Madrid will be taking on Girona. Every single one of these games available, as always, on Plus in English and in Spanish. Yes, so PSG will be taking on Liverpool. Liverpool's reward for topping the league phase is to be taking on PSG, a team that have definitely been raising a few eyebrows in a good way this season, and so we decided to invite Julien Laurens in to talk more about this. So before we do come to you though, Jules,
well, you know, we talked about we talked about the Madrid derby in terms of being huge. I think there is an argument, if indeed there is a debate, to say this could be, looking at it, the best footballing match.
Because you were just saying yourself the other day about PSG that you can't count them out right now.
Since the turn of the year, they've been fabulous. Players are hitting form. Vitinha's been tremendous. Barcola, Dembele in particular. Look, Liverpool have still got the ace up their sleeves, right? They are the better of the two sides. But had you said 4 or 5 months ago, what do you think in this game? I'd have looked at the fortunes of the two teams. PSG huffed and puffed, particularly in the early stages of this competition. They struggled. They were down there with Man City. But and Liverpool obviously have been strong. I think it was a much easier game to call 3 or 4 months ago. I still feel it's going to be Liverpool, but it is going to be a heck of a ride because PSG going forward, since Christmas onwards, have been tremendous.
I bet you weren't too happy when you saw PSG for Liverpool, were you, Steve?
I could think of an easier draw. But at the same time, you know, Craig's talking about before Christmas. Well, they didn't have Kvaratskhelia and Dembele up until the first part of the season had done nothing, and all of a sudden has caught fire. So, you know, they've gone from pre-Christmas to post-Christmas, and the front three are the real worry. If you're Liverpool, if you take care of them, more importantly, if you deny them the ball, then that's why Liverpool will be favourites, because I think in the other departments, Liverpool are way stronger. But they have to deny them the ball, because right now, that front three for them is well, they can do no wrong, it seems. But obviously, Liverpool getting the second leg at home is enormous. And as tight as this tie probably will be, I think 100% that's going to be a deciding factor.
Jules, make the case for PSG on why they cannot be underestimated in this tie.
I don't think Liverpool will underestimate them either. And the fans, and already I think you saw the reaction after the draw. It's a bit unfair for Liverpool to top that league phase and then get a team like PSG in that kind of form with the players that they have and the momentum that they have right now as early as the last 16, really. But that's the way it is. We knew before from a PSG side that it would be either Liverpool or Barcelona. There were two really tough ties. I guess the Liverpool is even worse because they are the best team in Europe. They've been the best team in Europe since the start of the season, really. And the second leg, as Stevie just said, is at Anfield, which makes things even more difficult. But I just don't think this PSG team will fear anybody. I think this is still a bit early for this squad, for this generation to go really far in the Champions League. Yes, they've played much better. They're a completely different team than the one that lost in Munich against Bayern or Arsenal, for example, earlier back in October. It's day and night, really, how much better they are now compared to those two games against the press, with the ball, in what they can offer going forward with the ball, that front three, or even four, because Doué is not far from being a starter as well in that front three. So, complete different team. But yet, it's still a very young team that lacks a little bit of experience, maybe a bit of physicality in midfield too. So against Liverpool, you have to give Liverpool that little tag of being favourite. Not much, but still favourite for sure. But I think that PSG will go there with nothing to lose and really believing that on their day they are capable of beating anyone, which is true.
Yeah, I would describe. If you're talking about PSG, they're dangerous.
Aye.
They're just dangerous. They could fold because of the inexperience that Jules talks about. It could all go sort of pear-shaped and wrong for them, or they could have that swagger which they've had recently, and zip the ball about, create chances, and do what they've been doing better than they've done for a while, which has been clinical in the final third. So they're a very dangerous side for Liverpool. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And when you look at it as a football game, a match, neither of these sides are going to sit back and park the bus. It is going to be a tremendous match-up. Of course, Liverpool have got the edge with the players, the big-time players they've got. But this PSG side are a dangerous team. So
before I tell you about Liverpool's schedule coming up, which you're probably well aware of, if you're to look within yourself, if you're Liverpool, what can you not get wrong in a tie like this against PSG? Like, what are the absolute non-negotiables?
Well, you have to make sure you respect them, first and foremost. Because if you don't, then you won't be on your toes. We always talk about nerves and other things that are good before a game. Well, if you go into this tie and don't give PSG the respect that they deserve, just because they don't have Messi anymore, or a Neymar, or anybody else, or Mbappe, just because it's three different players, you better respect that this team is better with the three up front they have than those three superstars that I've just mentioned. So that's the key. From the first whistle to the last whistle in both legs, you make sure you respect them. And if you do that, then as long as you're somewhat close to what you've been producing, then Liverpool should be okay.
So what's ahead for Liverpool right now? Obviously, we know we've got the weekend's game coming up against Manchester City. There's this two-legged tie against PSG. Wednesday, Newcastle in the Premier League. Of course, there's the EFL Cup final against Newcastle coming up as well. And Southampton sandwiched in between there too. Arne Slot has got to get this right, this period here, Stevie.
Yeah, and I don't think Arne Slot's going to be panicking, to be honest with you, because what Arne Slot has done is he set out a Liverpool side from the start of the season to play a certain way, depending on the condition of the game, whether it's before the game or during the game. And what he's going to be talking about is we don't need to look at the opposition, what the name is. It's about what we do. And everybody's been saying that Liverpool, certainly for consistency, have been the best team in Europe. So what they've got to do is go and play the way they have been. And then the opposition doesn't really matter. Yes, if it's Real Madrid or somebody like that, then there's a little nuances that you have to change. But when you look at that list of teams that Liverpool are playing against, it's about what Liverpool do. And that's when Liverpool are made at their best. You do what you do best, and the opposition are going to have to change for you.
The couple of little wobbles, though. Villa was a tough game. I suppose the Merseyside derby was a tough game because Everton made it scrappy. But when Núñez missed that chance at Villa Park, your name popped up several times. We wanted to know where you were at boiling point when he came on. How was it?
I wasn't smiling. Well, tell a lie. I did have a. You could have taken it for a smile, but it wasn't a smile.
He's bringing up Jota, other moments he's going through, like minute by minute yesterday on that Liverpool.
But if you're Arsenal, you've just got to be looking at that saying, okay, there's a draw, some drop points. Maybe could have picked up 3 at Villa Park, maybe could have lost the points totally with that chance at the end on Malen. But if you're Arsenal, you're sort of hanging on to that, and then you've got to go and do your stuff. But Liverpool, Andy Slot doesn't look too perturbed. The fact that they went out the FA Cup to Plymouth, dropped some points, as I mentioned. This makes it a huge game, obviously, at the weekend.
And the way that game went is kind of what I was talking about there, about Liverpool just doing what they do. Because although they didn't win the game, they played well, they created some really good chances. The difference was they never took the chances. And sometimes that happens. But if you're going to step on the field, whether it's home or away, and play the way they did, and create the chances they did, after that, you've got to rely on your better players taking the chances. And if they don't, then there's nothing else you can do about it.
All right, predictions for this tie. PSG against Liverpool. I'll start with you, Jules.
I mean, as you know, obviously, it's a bit like Stevie the Hard would say, I would love PSG to go through. I think if you just analyse the tie as it is now, I don't really believe that this Liverpool team right now, even with just 1 win in the last 4 competition, is weaker than they were a month ago or 2 months ago. Like Stevie said, they always find answers to whatever problems you can cause them. So I think Liverpool will be favourite and they should go through. And I think, sadly, they will go through. It will be tight, but a different kind of tight game than the Atletico Real Madrid game that you just mentioned with Alex. I think, like Craig said, it's going to be 2 fantastic football matches with a lot of goals, I believe, and a lot of entertainment. But in the end, I think Liverpool will go through.
Going to be fun. Who goes through?
Liverpool by the odd goal or 2 over the 180 minutes. But, yeah, cracking game.
Yeah, you got to go with Liverpool. Yep.
Okay.